Today we're going to be taking a look at a watch that when I first saw, I thought this thing is fire. And I mean that literally. The dial actually looks like a ball of fire on wrist. The watch is the Wave Diver from Aerotec watches, and it sure is an eye catcher. Big thanks to Aerotec for lending in the watch. I really appreciate it. So let's get to it and check it out. All right. Now, these are coming out by way of a Kickstarter campaign coming in either September or October. They're still working out the dates. I'm filming this quite early here in August. So once I have more details, I'll link them below or put them in a pinned comment. Now, there's a couple different versions of the watch, a stone dial and this textured one, each in two colors. I'd be interested to see what the stone dials look like in person, but from pictures, they look really good. All are bright, vibrant colors, but this particular one with this fiery dial is quite the dial color, and it's been a lot of fun to wear on wrist. The dial is a textured gradient dial going from yellow at the center to orange where it meets the inner bezel. And they did a great job color matching the darker area to the bezel color. The dial has almost a metallic finish, so it has a shimmery effect depending on how the light hits it. At first, I thought there was no text at all and only the applied logo up at the 12 until I got it under the macro lens where it has the water resistance in meters and feet on either side of the 6 o'clock marker. And speaking of markers, I love the font at the 3, 6, and 9 and how they kind of squish in on the inner part of the marker. The hands, especially the hour hand with the logo integrated into the arrow hand design, are easy to read. I thought maybe the orange second hand might blend into the dial, but there's enough contrast against that yellow section of the dial. No issues there. The one issue I do have, though, is the loom. This is a prototype, so it's going to be improved, but the loom is BGW9 and it's great on the markers and hands, but fades extremely quickly on the bezel. I just spoke with the owner and they're going to be adding more layers of loom on the bezel. So those production models, if that loom is even close to the hour hands and markers, should be good to go. The bezel is operated by the upper screw down crown, which threads in and out very smoothly. Let's give it a turn in either direction to set it. Just going to bring it back to the 12 o'clock here, though. No problems finding the threads. Both crowns, by the way, have a red crown tube, so you get that visual cue to remind you that they aren't screwed in. Same as the upper crown, this one feels good in hand too, and also has a good winding action. The case is mostly brushed with a bit of polish work along the top edge of the bezel where it meets the boxed sapphire crystal. On the side of the case, both sides is a wave pattern engraved, and the lugs are drilled to help with strap changes there too. The case back also has a wave logo painted on the underside of the crystal. Below that is the Miyota 9039 high beat 24 jewel movement with a power reserve of approximately 42 hours. The bracelet has quick release end links, so between those and the pierced lugs, it's easy to change up the look. It's all brushed with push pins for sizing. There is a bit of polish work along the edge of the signed clasp. Good sturdy feeling clasp with an on-the-fly ratcheting adjustment system. Easy to use. The one thing that I would maybe take a look at is the fit at the first center link. The holes on the end link should be raised a little so they sit more evenly, although that could make it so we don't have this articulation like that, and maybe the effective lug to lug would be extended a bit. Looks fine on wrist though. Otherwise, we have a good bracelet that tapers down to 15.8 millimeters at the clasp. Feels comfortable on wrist. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of 30.9 millimeters. The lug to lug is 45.1 millimeters. Lug opening is 20 millimeters and the thickness is 13.4 millimeters, including the box sapphire, which is treated with an anti-reflective coating on the underside. Water resistance on the watch is 300 meters. And here it is on my 7¼ wrist. And if you're looking for straight up summer vibes on wrist, this does it. Overall, I really like it. A couple little tweaks here and there would be nice, but still a really cool diver. As far as cost goes, the textured dial models like this will be starting at $3.99 for early birds on the Kickstarter campaign and $4.19 for the stone dials. Link to where you can find these will be below. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.